closest winner from Wednesday's Republican debate was Carly Fiorina. The #1 highlight, of course, was her excellent response to Donald Trump's remarks about her looks.
I think women all over this country heard very clearly what Mr. Trump said.
It was so clean. It was so, but it had that kind of strength that you were talking about with Jeb. And I wonder, like, is this, as much as we're talking about drafting as one way to pull back, are there other folks who are just going to need to, like, straight up stand up in order to demonstrate their credibility?
Well, she had to. I mean, in the second debate, she basically made it from the kiddie table from the first debate. This was her first appearance on the stage with the quote-unquote big boys. She's the only woman on the stage. There would inevitably comparisons, I would imagine viewers were going to be thinking to themselves, okay, is she like Michelle Bachmann? Is she like Sarah Palin? You know, is she like Hillary Clinton? Right. So she had to hang back, but also move forward, and her performance was extraordinary. She, and whether you agree with her politics or not, the way she carried herself, the way she handled herself, the way she was able to get back at Donald Trump or make the comment about Jeb Bush smoking pot 40 years ago, and she did it in a way where people would not say that was a shrill woman.
Yeah, she was so very measured.
Yeah, you know, I think people are going to get sick and tired of all of these personal attacks. Yeah, I think it's going to be very important that all of the candidates realize that that's got to stop, or else the one who stops the personal attacks and starts talking about the real issues, such as equal pay, paid family, medical leave, not that Fiorina supports all of those issues, but I think what's going to happen is people are going to say, well, where do you stand on all of these important issues that affect our daily lives? Why are you going after people personally? That has no place.
And she did that in making that pivot to say, I think the women in America heard it. She did what a politician's meant to do. Don't make it about you. Make it about the people who vote you want. And yet, you know, in that moment, and then of course the thing that occurs thereafter, the big thing that's blown up in the press around Mr. Trump has been his failure to stop someone from saying a series of really troubling things about the president. He actually ended up tweeting about it. I don't want to play the comments themselves, which I found really offensive, but I thought it would be interesting to see how Mr. Trump has responded. And he's clearly saying, look, I don't have to, you know, why is it my responsibility to stop someone else from saying something offensive? And I was like, because when you do, you look like a president. So let me just play John McCain actually stopping someone from saying something offensive back in 2008.
I can't trust Obama. I have read about him, and he's an Arab. He is not. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. He's a decent family man, citizen that I just happen to have disagreements with on fundamental issues, and that's what this campaign is all about. He's not. Thank you.
I mean, that was extraordinary, and what Donald Trump did, I found to be horrifying. Number one, let's assume that the president is Muslim. We know he's not, but let's assume that he is Muslim. So what? Being Muslim doesn't mean jihadist. Being Muslim doesn't mean you hate America.
Nor does it
being Muslim mean you want to blow up the country, or it disqualifies you from being president. But secondly, if you want to be the leader of the greatest nation in the world, and even appear or pretend you care about our Constitution, why not put that person in their place and say, because this is not the America that we stand for?
To some degree, we're maybe giving Trump a little too much credit. I mean, you have to remember where the Trump running for president phenomenon started, which is the birther movement. So almost
he has not evolved.
But almost to expect that he would, I think, is maybe giving him a little too much credit for what his real goals here probably are.
He embarrassed the country.
He absolutely could not renounce that guy. First of all, good for you. It's so important that whenever this comes up, people say, what could be wrong with having an Arab or a Muslim president? That's important. But secondly, his base are the people who believe what that guy believes, a significant part of his base, not the whole thing. And he came into this business, he began to build a following on the right with birtherism.
But let me suggest, John McCain had many of those people in his base as well, and he was like, oh, no, ma'am. Yeah. You are not the, like, let me show you what leadership is.
Well, he has integrity, and he did have a different base.
Once again, Donald Trump, first of all, is speaking to people who, again, are fearful of others. Secondly, I believe that Donald Trump doesn't even understand religious freedoms and religious pluralism in our country as its basic central tenet is a country that values all religions. And for him not to take a stand, as John McCain did, tells me and tells the public that he really doesn't get it in terms of our religious diversity.
And is he really, I mean, is that leadership?
Right.
The answer is no.
And
that's not a leader.
Right. That was the point to me. Like, he always talks about, well, I'll take the slings and arrows, and you have to take them in that moment. When we come back, we're going to talk about whether or not Dr. Ben Carson boosted his campaign's prognosis.